your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your dish authorized retailer now.
800-570-6630. 800-570-6630. That's 800-570-6630. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
Ron, who says you need an hour to do 2 hours with the show prep? I'm telling you. And I fixed the damn microphone cord at the same time. Summy, how you doing, man?
I'm wired.
You've had about 16 cups of coffee since you got here at 9:30 this morning, 9 o'clock.
More like
6.
3, maybe 4.
Yeah, that's a big cup, dude. That's like the Yeti of coffee cups. I'm just saying. It's a big-ass cup. Doc would be proud, by the way. Thank you, Ron. I know he's got a million things going on. He's trying to get remote shows going and take care of stuff that is above and beyond my pay grade. So I'm sure we'll go back to camera 2 in a minute because Summy's a handsome guy. Oh, by the way, if you haven't seen the scratch on my forehead, doesn't matter. Let's just say that I hit something faster, stronger, and more dense than I was. Doesn't matter whose fault it was. It happened. And, 4 stitches and 2 lacerations across the forehead. And I don't know. At least I'm not, my kidneys aren't bleeding anymore. Let's just put it that way. I'm okay. So I will live. I will survive. And I was going to put up a contest. The choices were scrappy with a police officer, or just in general because I'm Irish, right? Man, it's windy in here, dude. Why'd you turn the fan up so high? I'm just joking. Number 2 was a rollover car accident. Number 3 is got hit on my bike. If you know my hobby, then you'll know the answer. The fact is, I'm Irish. I drive too fast, and I love to cycle. So, as the 3 of my hobbies would have, any of them would have probably been the correct answer at different times in my life. Let's just say, yes, you're right. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So, Summy, did you know what day it is today? It is not Summy won the ice cream challenge day, although that's later. That's dessert.
That's true anyway, yes.
All right, so what's the Italian version? Well, actually, Neapolitan is the Italian version, but there's something that precedes that. There's something that preceded the Neapolitan ice cream, 3 flavors, the chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, or I'm guessing that's the traditional, right? There's something that preceded that, though. It's vanilla and pistachio, and they're actually stacked with, typically there are some like candied fruits in between, but you have the pistachio with the nuts, candied fruits, vanilla. It's packed in, some sort of a terrine, like a loaf pan, so to speak, in French. And then you slice it.
Kind of like an ice cream lasagna, huh?
Yeah, well, what you do is you actually you slice it and you serve it. I may have you. Has that changed yet? The angle?
Doesn't look.
Is
like
it just looking? Oh man, that's terrible. It's just looking at me. All right, so I'm gonna make myself look fat. Can you do me a favor?
Go ahead.
All right, you got to take the headset off though, because it'll choke you on the way out the door. Right next to that Asus monitor right there is a little square pad. And if you push, there's a little tiny, it's this big, push 6. That's camera 2. That way we get to see your pretty face on camera. Look at that. Holy crap. Or we should just leave it on that one. All right. During the break, I'll go out and push 6. We'll just keep it on that one. But anyway.
Yeah, so I can snooze.
Well, we'll keep it. No, that's 4. That's camera 1. So that's primary host only. Guest is camera 6. That means you got to be awake. Because otherwise I'll take pictures, Snapchat you, and I don't know how to I don't know how to Snapchat. All right. So anyway, Summy, you have been by far the and look, if you want to know what Spoony is, if you really care, then you need to go to the Spoony Radio Facebook page and check it out. I put a link up, and figure out how to layer your own ice cream in a terrine, slice it up, serve it. It's it's one of my favorites. I love pistachio. I love vanilla. And the two together go really well. You could do like a creme anglaise. You know what creme anglaise is?
Like creme brulee?
It's kind of it's an English cream with vanilla custard sauce. Basically, it's melted ice cream. It's ice cream custard or creme anglaise, which is the same custard, before you freeze it. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing, but you just don't freeze it. It's you have creme brulee, creme anglaise, ice cream, right? It's all the same for the most part. Mm-hmm. It's all the same base, right? It's this egg yolk, sugar, vanilla, cream.
Sure, yeah.
Cooked mixture, right, to make it safe, strained, and then you do whatever you want with it. You serve it as it is. You freeze it. If you had gelatin, then you have panna cotta, right?
Yes.
Like a semifreddo, right?
What I gave you earlier today.
Oh my gosh! So, all right, back to Semi for a minute. Y'all can look up Spumoni. It's not Spumanti. Spumanti is the cheap, the cheap version, the inexpensive version of an Italian sparkling wine, which actually isn't bad. In Germany, they call it Sekt. In California, we say sparkling wine. In other parts of the world, we just say cheap champagne-ish wine. But, Summy, we met 3 years ago, right? Pretty close. We met,
we first
virtually,
met roughly a year ago.
Almost a year and a half, but virtually online.
Yeah.
I think it was November of 2016. Was probably the first time you
have a better memory than I do.
Well, the reason I'm saying this is because I'd never been on social media other than Facebook until that day, until about 5 days before, because Doc had asked me to host Glenn's Thanksgiving, the day before Thanksgiving. Glenn was on vacation, and so he asked me to host Glenn's show with him. So he did the first hour. We did the second hour and a little bit more together, and then he did the end of the last hour together. So it was a 3-hour show. But that was the day that we did the the Thanksgiving Day leftovers, nailed it and failed it. Do you remember that one? I made Chris Cruz eat turkey, basically Thanksgiving sushi roll. He didn't like me after that. For about a week, he spit it out on the plate. It wasn't a big deal. It was turkey and cranberry sauce and stuff inside and with rice on the outside. It wasn't a big deal, but it just didn't fit the texture. But that was, so shortly after that.
I was thinking, you didn't talk about turducken, did you?
We did, but that was also the time that I made, so on the Nailed It ones, for people that didn't want turkey, remember I made the lobster stuffed tenderloin? Did you ever see that one?
I don't think so.
You know why? Because it's day before Thanksgiving. Who the hell was watching TV and listening to the show on the other channel over there?
Yeah, I only go with the radio. And even then, the time I usually listen, I'm in and out of stores.
Just admit it, you hate Glenn. I'm just joking, dude. I'm joking. Look. I have actually. It was really fun over there.
Yeah,
I had a really good time. That was the first time on a regular basis I'd been on the air, whether it was TV or radio, and getting to sit with Doc and his plethora of sidekicks over the last couple of years, because it went from Doc. Let's see, there was Chris, then Brad, then Chris, then Brad and Cal, then Cal and Chris, then Brad, then Chris.
Yeah. Handy J was in there as well, right?
Yes, he was. Jeff is an interesting force to be reckoned with in the studio, I have to say. He's a character. And I'm glad, I think he's going to be back on a regular basis producing at least Trey's show on Fridays. So it'd be a lot of fun. But back to the story. Yeah. So, and you may have actually, it was a couple weeks before that, maybe a month before that show, that I actually got on Twitter, because I didn't see the value in Twitter, because I'm a social media neophyte and not very good at the art of shameless self-promotion when it comes to me. But I decided I needed to get on there. And we may have had some sort of discourse on Facebook before that. I know that you had commented on the show on Twitter on Doc's show. When
Heavily Twitter driven.
Yeah. Well, and I was on there
to this day, in fact.
I was on there about 5 months before I did the first, that first live broadcast with TV. Anyway, so but you're the first person I remember as a listener of Doc's who actually became a full-time listener of the show.
Yeah.
Or at least my segment on Doc's show.
Yeah.
So that's why. Besides that's not why. You did win the ice cream challenge, right? I asked everyone, what is your favorite readily available flavor of ice cream? What company? You said you don't care about the manufacturer. It's chocolate and peanut butter, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. You won because you bring me pie, dude. And you don't bring me any pie. What pie did you bring today, a couple of days ago that I ate today?
That was a white chocolate panna cotta cheesecake.
Damn! I highly recommend, if you have the means, going out and picking one up. Do you remember where that's from? Ferris Bueller's Day Off? The Ferrari 408 GT California?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's such an amazing vehicle. I highly recommend, if you have the means, going out and picking one up. I'm telling you what, if you need a pie, Summy's your if you need a pie, Summy's your guy. As a matter of fact, I believe one of your friends who's a bake shop owner actually challenged you to a pie bake-off on the show.
On the show?
Well, I mean, I think that you're not going to bake on the show, but I think I'd be the judge. Maybe Ron and I or whomever. Oh, you don't trust me? Look, he's giving me the old no, I need somebody with more discerning taste. Brad?
I talked with them, but they weren't on the show.
No. But she sent me a message.
Yeah.
I think an email actually saying she was writing on behalf of Summy, and that there had been some sort of a gauntlet thrown as far as a pie bake-off goes.
Yeah.
And who is this person? Look, I'm sorry. I'm really terrible with names. It took me about 1.5 years to learn Summy's name, so you have to forgive me today.
Sure. Her name is Judy. Her place is called Judy Pie. It's in Grapevine, Texas. Mm-hmm. I often go there. I get regular text messages of deals they're doing.
Cool. And so that's judypie.com? Probably.
I'm not sure they. I don't think they have much of a website or so. You can sign up to get text alerts.
Okay.
Also, every purchase you can put it in your phone number, and it gives you like a point to getting a discount in the future.
To getting suckered into being on the show with Patrick today. Poor Summy. You have been on the show more times than anyone else. You know why? Because you're easy to lure into the studio, and once I shut the door, you sit down and you play the game. No, you're a good sport. It's been a really good couple of years, right?
I'm probably about the closest person that lives to here of anybody who listens.
Yeah, so I have, in other words, I have no other fans in the state of Texas, especially in the Irving, Dallas, Fort Worth, Burleson region, other than Trey. But Trey does listen to my show, but Trey listens, we all listen to his show. So, that's really funny because I'm probably the one in closest proximity. That was really funny. That was, could somebody pull that knife out of my back and pour a little salt on there for me? I'm just joking. Somebody, but you've been a great fan. You've been a lot of fun. And I have to tell you, your Twitter, your Twitter posts are always my favorite. They don't just crack me up. They make me smile and they make me think. And for me, I go for the low-hanging fruit. So, you say apples, I say oranges. You say nuts, I say 2, right? But yours are very thoughtful. And whether they're on the other side, our sister channel Mojo 50 or for Spoony, they're always applicable and entertaining. So I have to say thank you. And Doc really...
Yeah, let's skip the stuff and fluff, huh?
No, I'm serious. Hey, all right, so you want to get into food talk? Because here's the deal. I actually need to tap a couple more words in here because Summy's in-house. And so tune in as... because you know what? I didn't share it once again yet. I didn't share it. And what I like to do now is I'm trying to actually put the right words in. And all right, so tune in, Dish. Sumi Shik eats his ice cream, and we talk. What are we going to talk about? Famous food commercials, right? What else? Oh, well, what did we already talk about? We talked about Spoony, National Spoony. Yeah, somebody's like, dude, do you not do any show prep before the prep? No, I don't do any show prep before. How many phone calls did I have today prior to the show starting?
Lost count.
Yeah, exactly, like 57. 57. And you know what? The one
you counted?
No, I'm guessing. It was like 14 in the last hour, though.
I believe that.
It was close to that, 14 or 15, and I still didn't get the one. Oh, by the way, if Laura Badish is listening to you, Laura Badish, I need to talk to you. Give me a call. That would be Chef Patrick at Spoony. You can't call that number. Chef Patrick at Spoony.com. You can call the Spoony hotline, which is probably open. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to check it in a minute, and there's probably somebody hanging on like 14 calls waiting to get through. I doubt it. But there's some really interesting stuff coming up. The World Food Championship is coming up in October, and Spoony is looking to do some really fun stuff. I can't talk about all of it yet, but within the next 10 days, there should be a dun-da-da-da major announcement, and it does not include National Spoony Day. All right, at least got to write Spoony, and I'm going to publish this. All right, we're done. We're done. All right, folks, like and share, like and share, like and share. Pretend that you're loving the show, because if you're not, then you know what? No, don't go listen to somebody else. Listen, invite your friends, and tell them to listen. So let's check in and see what else we have. Richard Brand is present. Yes, Richard, you're always present. Marie Daniel, present. Welcome back. Thank you. Happy to be back. Richard Brand, speaking of prizes, did my stuff from Brandon Anderson ever make it in the mail? You know what? It didn't. It's still sitting on my desk, but you know what? It'll go out today. I swear, just like the numbers on procrastination, it'll go out today. As a matter of fact, the next time you bring some smoked pineapple ale, beer, fermented juice, whatever you want to call it, because I'm sure I'm going to call it something incorrect, lager, whatever it's called. When you come, I'll trade you for it. How's that? No, I'll put it in the mail today. Let's see, Travis Watkins. I think I figured it out. You drank too much whiskey before riding your bike too fast in the back of a cop car. Then you started a fight with a cop, and he banged your head while he pushing you into the back seat. You know, it's actually pretty close. Pretty damn close. I'll take it. Richard Brent, I turned Thanksgiving leftovers into chimichangas. Actually, if you leave out the cranberry sauce and add the cranberry to a mole, right? I think you might have something there. What's wrong with chocolate and cranberries, dude?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Those go well.
They do.
Together.
I think Richard Brand is the winner today on the leftover challenge. Laura Bittendo's like, huh? And they, let's see. They turn leftovers into egg rolls with a gravy dipping sauce. Yes, as many restaurants do. They go right to the egg rolls because it's easy, and it's fried, and it's fast, and it tastes pretty damn good. Let's see. Key is to put the cranberries in the center of the roll so you get the end of the bite. Ba-da-da-da. Don't let Jeff eat the pies. He'll get it wrong. Oh, that was pretty funny. Oh, goodness. Let's see. Richard Brand, yeah, like the other two, but Wyoming. Oh, dude, you live in hey, at least it's not Casper, right? It's Jasper. You know where Casper is?
Where?
Casper is a really windy, really nasty place to go. And I want to say it's in South Dakota. Oh, there's Casper. Oh, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. So here's why, and I forgot it willingly. When I lived in Colorado, I went to a bike race up there. Right, it was a 2-day, 2-stage race, and it's the windiest place I've ever been.
And it's called Casper?
Casper. I was hoping it was somewhere in like North or South Dakota because I really don't care to ever go back to either of those either. But it was so, and nothing against North and South Dakota. It's just cold and windy, right? It was so windy that it took like 5 times the amount of calories to travel 1 mile as it normally would, and it's a 54-mile race the first day. No. So instead of being, that's typically like a 2-hour ride. Instead of being a 2-hour ride, it was more like almost a 6.5-hour ride because you're going into the wind. And on occasion, you get a crosswind.
Oh.
Which was, that was better. But the thing is, the crosswind would blow you. There's a thing called holding your line when you're cycling. And this is how accidents happen when you don't hold your line. You basically focus on the tire of the person in front of you. And the way that you do, and you basically just follow what they do. Right? If they move left, it's natural. But the way you learn to do that is you ride on the white stripe on the side of the road and you keep your tire on it the whole way. So anytime the line moves, you naturally move back to the line, right? You couldn't do that. I mean, typically your wheels overlap by 2 to 3 inches and you just move. It's like a snake. The Peloton, you ever seen those guys in the Peloton in the Tour de France? They just move back and forth. And I know we're getting into all sorts of stuff. I know we got like 4 minutes left and blah, blah, blah. We got 3 more segments. We'll get back to food. But what happens is you naturally just start, you feel it, right? You watch the wheel in front of you and you don't focus on anything else. And that's why you learn to ride. And the thing is, it was so windy, it would blow you. If you were overlapping at all, it'd blow you into the guy in front of you's tire, his wheel, or it would blow you right. I mean, a couple times you'd get this gust of like 54, 57 miles an hour, and it would blow you right off the road. At the end of the day, it was hot, sunny, dusty. But at the end of the day, it wasn't the sun that got you. It was the wind. My face was so chafe. At the end of the day, it was like when you took the sunglasses off, it was swollen. I looked like a red raccoon, and I swear the flesh around where I was protected was like a half an inch. It was puffed up.
I hate when that happens.
Terrible. But anyway, so Casper, but you live in Cheyenne. That's like Colorado. That's not even Wyoming. You're like an hour and a half from Denver. Okay, maybe 2 hours, but you're an hour from Fort Collins, which has some of the best breweries in the country, and you're like the non-engineer, better than most engineers, who does all sorts of wonderful stuff in the field that no one else can do, and you make beer, and you're trying to open a brewery. What the hell are you complaining about? I'm just saying, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there are like real first world problems out there, like I need to air up my tires so I can ride again. I mean, come on. Not the same bike. Oh my goodness. All right, I'm gonna choke on my own words here if I'm not careful. Oh, let's see. Somebody's making lobster mac and cheese. Hello. Lobster mac and cheese. You ever had lobster mac and cheese?
Nope, just mac and cheese, maybe mac and cheese with bacon. No, nothing really fancy.
Bacon's fancy. What's wrong with bacon? Dude, are you a bacon-hating, anti-American communist? Because I was accused of that one time. And I even ate bacon on the show, and people still gave me a hard time. Were you one of them?
No.
You know what, Summy? Did you start that rumor?
Not to my knowledge, no.
It wasn't you, man. It wasn't you. All right, so...
No, usually just mac and cheese.
At the end of every half an hour, you're going to try and stump me. Look, folks, the Food Lover's Companion, you want to know all about food? Right there. 6,000 plus terms. Open it up. Stump the chump. Come on. 4 times. This is the soup and the appetizer course. Soup and salad is next.
Okay. Magdalena
sounds like that's got to be a dessert. That sounds like a Madeleine, almost like a cookie. I'm probably wrong.
Nope, it says that.
Yeah! Hey, that's pretty good. You know what?
Small sponge cakes made with eggs, flour, olive oils. I see them all the time at
Madeleine's, right? The little scalloped edge thing they have at Starbucks. Oh, the other coffee place that we don't go to.
They're at most of this my gas station stop.
Yeah.
7-Eleven, any place.
That was pretty good because that was actually written in Italian, and that's typically a French. Okay, you're gonna do that at the end of every half hour, and it's inside of 2 minutes. You're gonna try and stump me with a food term, and I have not read this cover to cover. You know what though? I have voraciously read about 4,000 cookbooks. Doesn't mean I cooked anything out of them. I just read them. So, Food Biz Pro does not mean the Food Biz Pro chef. It just means Food Biz Pro. I know the terms. I know how the money works. Mm-hmm. And, man, there's some really cool stuff. I wish you could let the cat out of the bag. We're talking Boston, Austin, Dallas, maybe another Texas city, maybe not. We had a lot of stuff in the works. You heard my phone call earlier today, right? Good. He didn't hear it because I don't trust somebody to have to let out. Anyway, we got a few seconds left. Chef Patrick Mosher, Food Biz Pro, in studio today. Summy Schick, my faithful sidekick. Yeah, and my very first friend from Doc's show. Anyway, we'll be right back in a few minutes. Stay tuned. 2 minutes. Ciao for a second.
Follow Chef Patrick Mosher on Twitter @FoodBizPro.
If you are trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-452-1075. 800-452-1075. That's 800-452-1075.
And we're back. Sorry, did I deafen you? So Doc taught me this thing that, I haven't talked about Doc in a while. But Doc taught me this thing that always start, when you don't know what to do to kind of get yourself in the mood and energize yourself for the segment. He goes, start off something really weird, just like you're reading something or like you're talking to yourself. Oh yeah, the other day when I was, oh hey, and we're, or just something totally random, and it works. It really does, because what it does is sparks your creativity. Not that I have any creativity, but dude, man, I can't get a bite. Look, Summy, you've been my longest running fan, and I said I don't have any. Maybe I don't have any creativity, and you just said, I got to work on this, man. I thought you were like my cheer. No, not my cheerleader, but you know what I mean. I'm just teasing Summy. All right, so Summy brought up something that we missed during the first course, but actually it'll work for the second course, because he said, this would have worked for the appetizer course. I said, we got soup and salad coming up. And he goes, this will work for super salad. And what was it?
Potato salad.
All right, so potato salad. Everybody has their idea, their version of what is proper potato salad. All right, so, and I'm not talking Ron White, fat white man tater salad. I'm talking the recipe. How to go back to camera one? I put on camera 2. I locked it on camera 2. I don't know.
It's been cycling.
I know, but I went and pushed the button. I'm pushing buttons. That's what I do. I push buttons around here. So, potato salad. Your dad, right?
Yeah.
Your father.
Yes, he makes the best potato salad in the world.
Wow, that's a big statement, dude. All right. So,
I defy anybody to change my mind.
No. I think you might be right. I have to try it. But what is special about your dad's potato salad? And first, a couple of questions.
Sure.
Vinegar, mustard, mayonnaise, or a combination of the two or three?
I think mayonnaise.
Okay, mayonnaise. Is it yellow at all? So no. Okay.
No.
All right. Red potatoes, small red potatoes, or big potatoes cut up?
Usually big potatoes.
Are they the red ones, the thin, the new
No,
potato? Okay, so
my
it's
dad's
plain old.
never gone with the light skin.
He don't do the fancy stuff, right? Yeah. No, I mean in a good way.
Very ornate. It tastes great, warm or cold.
All right, so I got to ask more questions. So, how is it different from other potato salads? If you know.
Creamy.
Okay. So what else goes in the mayonnaise? Is it just the extra mayonnaise, or is it because the potatoes and the mayonnaise, the potatoes start to break down a little bit and mix in with some of the mayonnaise, but you still have the firm piece of potato? Does he slice the potatoes or does he chunk them up?
Yeah, I think more like chunk.
Chunky?
Yeah.
Okay, so that means if they're probably russet potatoes or whatever kind of the plain old brown skin, not plain old, but brown skin potatoes.
Whatever's the cheapest.
Yeah, so russets, right? From Idaho.
No, but smaller.
Okay, so like the medium sized, like that
Yes,
big.
yes.
Okay, but they're not the red skin ones, right?
No.
Okay, so any of the brown skin ones are going to be or that are not the like Yukon Golds. Those are expensive ones.
Really thick skin.
Okay, and does he take the skin off?
Of course, yes.
Okay, so he peels them.
Yes.
All right, so what happens then is they're when you say creamy, it's because probably like they're not really defined pieces, right? It's chunky, but a lot of that potato after it's cooked, it starts to break down, right, on the outside of the potato. So when you mix it with the mayonnaise and the other ingredients, what else you put in there? Celery, green onion.
I'm not entirely sure.
You got to have one or two ingredients. Come on, bacon.
Occasionally, yeah.
Okay. Wait. Is your dad one of those guys that changes the recipe all the time?
I'm not sure. It's been many years since I've had it.
Okay, no. I was just curious because you know what? You know what's really frustrating is when someone, a family member, a favorite restaurant, whoever, yourself, you make the perfect dish, right?
Yeah.
They make the perfect dish. And then 3 months later, 6 months later, 2 years later, they make the same dish again, and it's not the same because they're just like, oh, I just changed a few things. I used panko instead of fresh breadcrumbs, or, oh, I didn't put any egg in it. I just put, no, your dad can do this. But
yeah,
for me, especially those iconic dishes, the bacon, yes, bacon does make potato salad better. I'm not anti-bacon. But in this case, we're talking about it's a texture thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Man.
He also adds...
Can I tell you how hungry I am right now? We had ice cream, but I'm so starving.
Yeah. He also had pickles, olives. He cuts up vegetables as well.
Yeah.
You can expect...
celery, a little onion?
No celery. Tomatoes. Although that's usually a garnish on the top. You know, he has this nice glass bowl that he puts it. Yeah, and
with lettuce around it and the potato salad.
Almost makes like a kind of like a target of the things he lays down on the top. You know,
I like that.
Tomato slices, pickle spears, olives, things like that.
No, that's cool. Yeah. I like that a lot. So, my mom made it with mayonnaise, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And I've had other
He's
people
from
that make
Germany.
Yeah. And what's really interesting though is Germans don't typically put mayonnaise in their potato salad. Mm-hmm. Now some do, sure. But I lived in North Rhine-Westphalia. It's like North Rhine-Westphalia in English. I lived in Cologne, Germany. And the family I was with there, it was the first time I ever had, basically, there was no mustard and there was no mayonnaise. It was simply warm potatoes. Mm-hmm. It was tossed with vinegar while it was hot. Mm-hmm. And some other things that were, there was like, there's a little bit of onion. There was some, what else was there? Was egg. There was some, anyway, it was this amazing potato salad. But for me, it wasn't potato salad. And they used the more dense, like the thin-skinned new potatoes, like the red ones. And so when they sliced them, they stayed very firm. and they held their shape, which for me, again, I was used to kind of look, whatever potatoes came out of the garden is what we ate, and the only ones we grew were the cheap russet potatoes that grow in the cold. So, but yeah, it was the first time I had this kind of Germanic, Northern Germanic anyway, warm, and I'd never had warm potato salad either.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay, just pull it to you. The good thing about this, woo, it moves around. It's okay. I haven't forgotten to turn on the mic this week. At least unmute it because it's my first show this week. So, I'm 1 for 1. But potato salad. I mean, everybody has their version of potato salad. So, listeners, because I can't get to all your comments on 19,000 different things. How do you make your potato salad? Just the basics. Potatoes. Is it vinegar? Is it mayonnaise, mustard, a mixture? Do you put pickles? Do you see? For me, I've had pickles in it before, but typically I like dill relish. Huh. Most people have never had that before. Like I
Not
like
in potato salad, at least.
No, I mean or even on a hot dog. Like I like sweet relish as well, but I prefer dill relish, and very few people, especially down here, in the Mid-South here, I know, sorry. Somebody's like, somebody, are you a I know you're a nervous driver with me. I think I almost gave you a heart attack like 6 times today.
Oh.
I didn't.
At least I looked like you.
Actually, you know what you didn't do? You didn't go. And thank you. I appreciate that because that's tough. Because what happens when you do that? I think we're gonna die. So I look around and I don't pay attention to what's in front of me. So my mom used to do that. She would stomp the invisible brake on the passenger side. I'm like, could you stop it? It's not gonna help. You're stuck in the car with me, Mom. Just figure it's over. Have fun. Have a good conversation. It's okay. She was like, my poor mom. I tortured her, I think. All right. So potato salad. Tell us what you like. All right. Richard Brandt. Yeah, Casper can be a bit dodgy, but outer Cheyenne, where I live, is pretty windy too. Yeah, I know it is windy. It's flat up there. I know you all have some mountains there, but it's pretty flat. Not just windy, but a continuous changing wind. Yes, that makes it impossible to operate a consumer-sized manual smoker without 100% monitoring. My automatic pellet smoker saved my meat. Ding ding. Oh, man, my bell is out on the table. I got a little dinner bell that was sent to me by Sarah from New York. Sarah Tyader, New York. I forgot what her new Twitter handle is, but she sent a little dinner bell. It's like it's like the servant's bell. So
you wanted it?
I'll bring it in after.
Yeah, there are a couple ones 2 rooms over.
No, I don't want that one. I want my dinner bell. We'll get it at the break. It's on my desk. Let's see. The climate changes the second you cross into Wyoming, says Richard Brandt. Maria Alex, how can a chef not be creative? I create food. You know what? I talk about creating food. I have not cooked very much lately, and I'm really kind of remiss at my position for doing that. I keep toying with the idea of competing at the WFC, because I could probably talk my way into a ticket, but I'd rather interview all the winners of the 10 categories, see what they come up with this year, and then try my hand next year maybe. Are you going to go?
What's that?
The World Food Championship downtown at Victory Square.
What days are they again?
It's going to be, I want to say around the 20. Hold on. I don't want to lie to anybody. All right. WFC Dallas. This is the World Food Championships in Dallas 2019. October 16th through the 20th. So I think it's 4 active days down there and basically a half day on either side that's in between. But they have 10 categories. 5 to I'll bet there's a minimum of 700 chefs and home cooks, probably more like 1,000 competitors this year.
I got to get my dad over here for that.
Yeah.
It's his birth month.
Oh, you know what? I barely celebrate my birthday. Mm-hmm. I like people that that actually pay attention to their birthday week, their birth month, their whatever, their birth. Might as well be your birth year, right? So, okay.
We're playing unbirthdays now, like from Alice in Wonderland, huh?
Look, I worked for a billionaire, literal billionaire, and he used to bitch about his birthday. And he was 75, 76 years old. And one time, I had been there about 2.5 years, and I said, look, I said, Mr. K, can I talk frankly? And he goes, yeah. I said, you know what? You have one other option than having a birthday, and it's not pleasant. Can we just not complain about your birthday anymore? Have some fun. I'll cook you whatever you want. I don't care what your doctor says. Eat some good food. Go spend some money. Do something fun. But I don't want to hear you complain about your birthday. Of course, 2 months later, I was fired, so I'm not sure if that was because of what I said or what I later. I don't know whether it was later or what, but yeah, I should just learn to keep my mouth shut, but I'm not good at that.
Yeah, once upon a time, that billionaire was not jaded.
Actually, he was a very interesting story. This guy, food. So, you ever been truly hungry, Sammy? Like truly hungry? Like haven't eaten in a couple of days hungry?
Yeah, I've done fasts.
Yeah, no, I don't mean fasting because you couldn't, because you didn't have the means.
No,
okay.
That's never happened.
And this has nothing to do with my parents, right? But there were times in my life when I was hungry. Like I want to eat, I want to chew my fingernails off because I was hungry. I had nothing to eat, right? There's a time in New York when I was on the street for a little while, and not a long time. We're talking just a short time, but, you sit in enough door stoops and beg people for coffee and have nothing to eat but coffee and the styrofoam cup it comes in, and not coming from a family of means. You know what? You learn. At some point in my life, we had a working farm. My grandfather had a working farm. He had miles of land. I didn't know that as a kid. Miles of land. I mean, section after section, right? Mile by mile, and but. We all lived on the same road. We grew vegetables. He harvested his cattle in the wintertime. He also grew vegetables. He had a big garden. All the other family members, my father's family members, were up and down the road in about a half-mile stretch. And we were the only ones on one side, and everybody else lived in every quarter mile, there was another Mosher family member, right? Whether it was a sister and their name had been changed because they got married, or actually his only brother didn't live there. So yeah, they were all the sisters, all the way up to my grandparents' house. And but there were times in my life growing up when I had moved out of the house and I was hungry. And I mean really hungry. Like, I don't mean student living off ramen, drinking Miller Lite hungry. I mean student, if you didn't have a coupon for a free Subway sandwich when you buy one, then you wait a couple days to eat till you get the coupon so you can go buy 2 for 1 and you get to eat for 2 days. And I'm not complaining, but food means very particular. Food is different to everybody, right? Yeah. The emotional attachment to food. Some people eat out of boredom. Some people eat out of pleasure. Some people eat out of scarcity, right? Yeah. So this gentleman was pretty amazing. His father came over during the Depression from I want to say Poland. He was a Polish Jew, and he came over and he had $6 when he arrived at Grand Central Station, and he had relatives in St. Louis. So he went to St. Louis. He found his way there. He hitchhiked or walked. I don't know how many days and weeks. He got there, and was a very successful tailor. He was a young man, but he was a very successful tailor over there, not making money, but he was a very accomplished tailor. And when he moved to St. Louis, he tailored clothes for the cardinals of the Catholic Church, the police chief. He tailored everyone's fine clothes. But then it was pre-Depression. Then the Depression hit, and they lost everything. But every night they ate a very simple meal on an oilcloth. Okay, they put it out over the table because they had no linens. They ate, and they had basically one meal a day. And Mr. K, I'll just call him Mr. K, he had papers in the morning and papers in the afternoon. And he would listen to what people told him. And he'd walk. And he's a very astute man. He was very, very observant. And he would look around and he'd say, why does this family over here live in this giant house with 16 bikes sitting outside when they only have 4 kids? Okay. And my family has no bike, and we have, 4 kids. And it was very interesting. But the food portion was the most amazing thing to me. So as he moved forward and he grew older, and he was still doing selling papers in the morning, papers in the evening. And one guy walked by him every day and bought a paper from him. And he said, you know what? I've never failed to buy a paper because you've always offered me one. He goes, the best thing I can tell you is to read. The guy was a voracious reader. Every day he went to the library, checked out a new book. The guy would read a book a day. It was crazy. Wow. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, over all these books. Anyway, he put himself through college. He got a scholarship to get his master's degree. He went to law school. They ended up owning, he owns a string of banks and the largest private collection company in North America. So, but he grew up hungry. And so it was amazing how particular food, his selection of food for any given day was. They used to call me his food therapist. So I would go in the morning. I had to be there by 8. I'd go in I'd be there at 7:30, stand in the kitchen. It was like a 15-hour day. So I'd stand there. I'd sometimes make him breakfast, sometimes not, depending on his mood, what the paper said, whether or not Alan Greenspan had called the phone and I'd answered and lied and said he wasn't there. Seriously. And because this guy was looking for insight into the economy. And so Mr. K would sit there, he'd read the paper, and it was funny because he could tell me what was happening on all around the world in the economy based on little things he saw in the newspaper. And it was like, well, you know what that means? No, I don't have a clue. He goes, well, let me tell you. And he told me, he said, if you have $1,000 when the New York Stock Exchange goes public, invest in it. I didn't listen to him, and I lost. but anyway, but food, every day, his mood determined what he wanted to eat. And so the minute he left the house to go to the office, his assistant would call me and say, what do you eat for breakfast? What was his mood? Did he have 2 helpings or 1? Did he finish it? What is he having for lunch? Did he order yet? What is he having for dinner? Is he stressed? But did he take his time? Did he eat fast? The way he ate and what he ate determined his mood and how he was going to act that day. Because food for him wasn't just sustenance, right? It was either something he needed or something that was his greatest pleasure. Because he grew up hungry, all right? And David Saperstein, I'll just say his name out loud. I was a chef for him too, another billionaire. That he grew up a very poor, same cultural background as he was. Grew up on the East Coast, but this guy became a billionaire, right? And so it was interesting. We could have no canned beer in the house because when he was growing up, apparently he had a family member. His dad would drink canned beer, and it was and ham, and they were Jewish. Can't have ham, right? But that was the cheapest meat. And so there was no ham to be brought in the house. Wow. No canned beer. So in their bar area, we could have no canned beer. They had 6 taps. Of course, their house was like 46,000 square feet that sold for $128 million like 10 years ago. Yeah. Yeah. At that point, that was the most expensive divorce in history. Yeah. And I'm sorry I said his full name, but you know what? I don't work for him anymore. It's been a decade. It's okay. So, I mean, it's interesting, though, how food brings out not just memories, right, but certain emotions in people. Mm-hmm. Is there anything that you don't like to eat because of an emotional response to it? Not just texture and flavor. Oh. Like, that's what I was eating when my dog died. I can't have that anymore. Not like that, but, there's all sorts of stuff.
Off the top of my head, the only things I can remember are I just don't like the taste or something.
No, I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I'm just like, I mean, there and look,
there probably is if I gave it some more thought.
Yeah, and I could do a whole show on this. I really could, because there's some really interesting relationships between emotion and food. Scent is the strongest the strongest trigger of memory, right? So like I remember getting sick on Jack Daniels, and it's not the flavor, it's the smell that gets me. If I smell Jack Daniels, I got to go in the other room. I mean, not anymore, but for 20 years, right? I don't like it and I won't drink it, but I don't have to run away from it anymore. And it's not just alcohol, but there are certain things that I remember like, oh my God, I'm surprised I still like tomatoes because we had hundreds of pounds of tomatoes every summer. Huh. And when my mom didn't want to bake, she made this, she would like just slice cold tomatoes, put them on a plate, sprinkle a little sugar and salt on them, right? And it was really cool because the sugar nullifies the acid in the tomato, the big beefsteak tomatoes. Oh, and it's really good. It's almost like eating watermelon. It's very good. It really is. Just a dusting, right? But I don't like to, when I was a kid, I used to tear up toast or bread with milk and sugar, but I don't eat that anymore because I equate that with being poor. Even though we were probably not as poor as I thought, I don't eat it anymore because I don't like the emotion that's attached to it, which is kind of silly, right? It's just bread and milk and sugar. I mean, but yeah, I can't do so. And then I don't. My mom used to make shredded wheats, the whole shredded wheats. I've talked about this before. She would put hot water on them and let it set for a minute until it softened and it got really hot, like boiling water. And then you pushed it down and you poured the boiling water off. And then you put milk on it with a little pat of butter on there and some sugar. And that was like a hot cereal with milk on it. But I don't eat that anymore. You know why? Because I don't want to think of my mom making that for me. I haven't had it since she died. Matter of fact, probably 4 or 5 years since before that, when the last time. Anyway, this whole food and emotion thing, right, is weird. And potato salad, every time you eat potato salad, what's the first thing you think? This isn't as good as my dad's. I want my dad's potato salad.
Almost certainly.
So what do we need to do? We need to get the damn recipe so we can make it over here, right? Or have him make it and you bring some.
I can use all the excuses to get that guy over here. I miss him.
Well, let's do that. Yeah. Bring him over.
Yeah.
It'd be really fun to have him in studio. Does he speak German anymore? A little?
Oh, yeah. He always lights up at the chance to talk.
Really?
To talk
ich kann ziemlich gut Deutsch sprechen. Ein bisschen.
Yeah, well, you totally lost me on that.
Oh, so I said, yeah, I am perfectly fluent. No, I didn't. I said I can speak kind of good German, a little. But no, I mean, that'd be fun. We could do a whole show in German.
Yeah, you could carry on a whole conversation while I sit there with a blank expression.
You want to? So, all right. So, I don't know how long y'all been following me, but about a year and a half ago, I was up in Denver, and one of my mentors, who actually is a great chef, he's younger than I am, but he kind of helped me refine my sushi skills. Wow. His name is Wayne Conwell, and he owns a place called Sushi Sasa up in Denver. We worked at Sushi Den, which has been around for like 34, 35 years now. It's one of the most established, greatest sushi restaurants in the country. And so Wayne and I went in, and it was the first time. It was like the second or third Facebook Live I'd ever done. And so, might have been 2 years ago already. Anyway, so I walk into his restaurant, and I talk to him ahead of time. But it's two white guys, right, standing at the sushi counter, and I walk up, and I'm like, "So Wayne, how you been, man? Nice to see you." And then I break into Japanese, and he speaks Japanese, and the whole time I'm asking him what's good, what's freshest, what do you have on the menu? He like holds up a tray of fish. He talks. His Japanese is impeccable, but the whole thing's these two tall, slender white guys speaking in Japanese, and I never translated a word. And at the end, I say, "Well, I hope you got all that. If you're in Denver, come see Wayne. I hope you found out what's fresh and best, because you know what? I don't care when you show up. You ask for it. You got." I never translated anything. It was one of the funniest. I had more views on that, I think, than any other interview, because it was like a minute and a half, 2 minutes long, and I never. People are like, "What did you say? What did you say?" I'm like, "Well, just listen. Just listen. Just Wayne told you what's best, and just listen." But that was probably the most fun, because I was being dorky. I'm like, all right, somebody's texted me saying, "My God, would you just talk about food? Can you just talk about food?" No. I'm talking about food and fun. And you know what? I'm talking about Summy Schick and his dad's potato salad. I'm starving right now, Summy. Did you listen to?
Yeah, I had to bring that up, didn't I?
No, you listened to the first show, right?
Which?
So that was Try This Dish Radio with Sean this morning.
No, I didn't catch that. So.
No, it's okay. Well, you were sitting out there. I know you were working on some other stuff, but
yeah.
So Lee, I forgot Lee's last name. He's from is it Lee Cajun Seasonings, right? And so he's talking about his mom baked duck. It's kind of like making baked chicken, but she would like brown it in the pan and then roast it in the oven at like 200, 250 degrees for like hours until it just like you put your fork in it and the whole thing like fell off on the plate. And right now, I'm craving baked Cajun duck with some tater salad from Summy's dad. So I know Summy's dad's not listening, but what's his first name?
Klaus.
Klaus. Bitte, Klaus, kannst du einmal bitte zum Show anhören und Potato Salad mitbringen? Bitte? Du kannst ein Guest in Studio sein.
I'm really sorry.
That was really crappy German. So, look, Klaus, please come to the studio. Bring some potato salad. You can be a guest anytime. If you bring potato salad, you give me a 4-day heads up. I'll bring baked duck.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Do you like duck?
Sure. Or pork belly.
Ah! Damn, I knew you were going to bring that up. So I may have overbrined and slightly burned the last pork belly.
Or loin. How about wattle loin?
You know what? That would be good. I'm really good at roast pork loin. And actually, I'd prefer the pork tenderloin. Right. So the loin is kind of like the pork chops, but it's all one big roast.
Yeah. Tenderloin.
Oh yeah, I can do that. We'll make some. We'll make some medallions.
Really? Can you get wattle loin?
I'll bet I can. I'm gonna make a note. Summy, I owe you, because that was some really nice pork belly and I screwed it up. At least I own my mistakes, folks. All right, look, the second course is over. Soup, salad, appetizer, whatever. Main course is coming up. I don't know what it is, but stay tuned.
This is the only 24-hour take-anywhere platform dedicated to food and fun. We're Spoony.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. The Trump administration is moving to end policies that limit how long immigrant children can be kept in detention.
Acting Homeland Security Secretary Kevin McAleenan says it's an attempt to crack down on illegal immigration,
which Congress has refused to do, allowing the federal government to house alien families together in appropriate facilities during fair and expeditious proceedings.
The change allows the government to detain families longer than 20 days. Speaker Nancy Pelosi issued a statement calling the new policy, in her words, child abuse, plain and simple.
Capitol Hill correspondent Wally Hines. President Trump says when it comes to gun control measures, it's not a matter of coming up with additional laws covering background checks.
We have a lot of background checks right now. Gun owners can tell you that, others can tell you that. But there are certain weaknesses. We want to fix the weaknesses. And I think that'll happen. Let's see what happens.
The president speaking to reporters outside the White House before departing for Kentucky, where he'll be speaking to a veterans group. Police say 4 female college students wounded when a gunman opened fire into a crowd of 200 people outside a library near Clark Atlanta University late Tuesday. None of the injuries were life-threatening. The shooter has not been apprehended. Also at townhall.com, Wisconsin Congressman Mike Gallagher says he supports a move by Facebook and Twitter to crack down on a disinformation campaign by China targeting the pro-democracy protest in Hong Kong.
I do, because I think it's a step in correcting what we saw last year, which is the willingness of some of these companies, particularly Google, to work more closely with the Chinese Communist Party than our own Pentagon.
Gallagher spoke with the Salem Radio Network. More protest in Hong Kong today at a train station. There was minimal violence reported between the demonstrators and police. On Wall Street, stocks sharply higher. The Dow had 228 points, the Nasdaq up 62. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Never Forgotten Apparel is more than just a premium women's and men's clothing line. It's a movement to remind us to wear American-made and serve those who serve us. Our heroes. Never Forgotten Apparel gives 20% of their total sales to nonprofits that support homeless veterans and off-duty firefighters, and 50% to individual veterans and firefighters in need nationwide. Check out neverforgottenapparel.com. Use promo code MATT, M-A-T-T, and get 15% off your purchase.
Got an old car? You can donate it, whether it's running or not, to the United Breast Cancer Foundation and save a life. They'll even come and pick it up for free. The United Breast Cancer Foundation has saved hundreds of women's lives through their free or low-cost breast screen exams. But now they need your help. The United Breast Cancer Foundation wants to save more lives through early detection by offering women free or low-cost breast screening exams. And donating your old car, SUV, or truck, whether it's running or not, helps pay for them. Plus, you get a charitable tax deduction. Help the United Breast Cancer Foundation save lives by donating your old car, SUV, or truck. Call now for free pickup. 800-245-0823. 800-245-0823. 800-245-0823. Call right now. That number again is 800-245-0823.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-570-6630. 800-570-6630. That's 800-570-6630.
Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
Summy goofed, man. Summy goofed it up. Jeez. Actually, I goofed up.
He had something more important to say.
You know what? Look, last half hour is fun. I love talking about the emotions of food. I do. But you forgot to try to stump the chef.
Okay.
Or the Food Biz Pro or whatever the hell. I don't even know if are you chef if you don't cook?
Okay, here we go.
Uh-oh. Oh, wait. Okay.
Clabber.
Clabber? Clabber's it's part of milk. It's the clabber isn't that the stuff that collects on top when you're making butter?
Clabber is unpasteurized milk that has soured and thickened naturally.
Damn it! So basically, it's self-made yogurt.
Yeah, like the
whatever
raw milk over there when it's been in there too long.
But I'm only here, and I'm only here a couple days a week. It's kind of hard to drink, but
it's still good, man.
Mm-hmm.
Went really well with the coffee.
All right, so I lost. All right, you got me on one. All right, I knew it was milk, but I didn't. All right, whatever. All right. At the end of this half hour, though, you're gonna have to try and stump me again. All right. So, couple of things we were talking about earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
We both like. What's funny is a great show. Which is it still in the air? I don't listen to it anymore.
I don't think so.
Okay. So Garrison Keillor was a great radio voice, right? He was kind of like the Doc of the old time radio show.
Oh yeah.
And there was a great show called A Prairie Home Companion, and we were talking about iconic commercials in the food world. And funny enough, that came up, right? You're like, oh, what about it's the buttermilk biscuits, right? And the other powdered milk.
Powdered milk biscuits in the big blue box.
Yeah,
Heavens,
that's right.
they're tasty and expeditious.
All right, so let's. So if you've never heard of Prairie Home Companion, Garrison Keillor was an amazing voice for 30 years on the radio. They had 30 plus years, I believe, on the radio, and not as good as Car Talk. No, I'm just joking. Click and Clack, the Tacker Brothers. You got to listen to Car Talk. Go back and listen. Unfortunately, one went to Yale, one went to Harvard. Yeah. They both lived in Cambridge, Mass, and a brilliant show, right? But this
not for everybody.
No. What was cool is a Prairie Home Companion was like a real old time radio show.
Yeah.
And they what was a fictitious town that they lived in up in Lake Wobegon.
Lake Wobegon.
Yes. Where all the where all the women are beautiful, women are pretty, women are strong.
No. Yeah.
The women are strong. The
men
are handsome.
Men are good looking.
And the children are
above average.
Above average. That's right. Lake Wobegon. And so every week they had, it would open up the same or end the same way, But they had these amazing segments, right? And they would throw in a commercial every once in a while. And that was typically
a fictitious commercial.
Everything was like they had Guy Noir Private Eye. Guy Noir Private Eye. It was really funny.
Or also Dwayne.
Yes, exactly. They had the Lies of the Cowboys. That was really funny.
Oh yeah.
Because there was these old cantankerous cowboys, right? And there was like ding. They always had the spittoon, right?
Yeah.
But it was like
great sound effects. Yeah.
Oh my God. So they had the Ketchup Advisory Board was one of the parody commercials, right? Whereas a spoof on public service announcement informing the listeners about the natural mellowing agents of ketchup and it was done as this serious dialogue between there's an average homeowner and his wife, right? and always in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Barb, that's his wife, Barb, right? And then they had they intentionally misspelled ketchup. It was CAT CHUP instead of KET CHUP, right? Anyway, oh my God, it was so funny.
And then it ends with a song that kind of grates your ear canals.
Well, when it's like a spoof on Aesop's the fables, like eat more ketchup. Remember? Anyway,
No,
so
these are the good years.
Yes, and so then they had the bebop or rebop rhubarb pie, right?
Oh yeah,
bebop rhubarb pie. And that was
nothing gets the taste of shame and humiliation.
No, yeah, a long drawn out tale of failure and humiliation. That's right. Up until the edge of and then it was they always had a lot of sound effects in that one.
Oh yeah,
and then it was it always finished with nothing gets the taste of humiliation out of your mouth like bebop or rebop rhubarb pie, and that's not the exact. That's the jingo, but
no, that was just the spoken lead up to the song.
But the powder milk biscuits is my favorite. Okay, can I tell you the sweetest story ever? So, my mother grew up thinking that her mother was her sister, right? So my mother's sister was the eldest child, or my mother's mother was the eldest child of a large family. And so my mother was raised as the youngest child because when my mother was born, my grandmother, who I called Aunt Gladys, left. And so, but years later, everything came back together. And
Wow.
I finally found out when I was 10 or 11 that she was my grandmother. And we spent a lot of time with her. And she didn't live far. It was like about 12 miles away, I think, from where I lived in rural New York. Anyway, when I moved to Japan in 1989, 1988, whatever it was, she sent me a care package that was the sweetest thing ever.
Wow.
Right? So she sent cornflakes.
Wow.
Okay. She didn't want to send the box because it might be too heavy, so she just sent the bags of cornflakes right out of the box
Yes.
and wrote cornflakes on them. She sent powdered milk in gallon baggies. Yeah, and she wrote powdered milk on it because she didn't know if I got milk in Japan.
Wow.
Well, she was in her 80s already, so and she sent me all these little she sent me Snickers bars but she sent this big box of stuff, and this was a woman of very meager means. But the fact that she put powdered milk in there, I thought was one of the sweetest things. I actually ate every last dry flake of that powdered milk. I put it on my cereal. I mixed it in the mornings. Ate it. I mean, I drank it, ate on my cereal, drank it, whatever. But I didn't let a single thing out of that box go to waste. Yeah. But whenever I hear this powder milk biscuits commercial from, okay, so we're going to talk about some really funny real commercials in a minute, fast food mostly. But it was always at the bottom of the first hour. And he would introduce a sponsor, and then the band would launch into they had a bluegrass jam session, right?
Oh yeah.
All right, and then it was all, and the jam session was always the same every week. It was the same exact tune, and then it was has your family tried? Has your family tried them? Powder milk. Has your family has your family tried them? Powder milk. If your family's tried them,
you know you're satisfied. They're the real hot item.
Then they're item powder milk biscuits. It's like, look, I grew up in a really cold area. When we got snowed in upstate New York, it was 7 miles to town. Unless you're going to take a damn snowmobile, you were stuck. You had powdered milk and jack wax, which is molasses boiled down, thickened, and hardened over snow as a dessert because it kind of became like taffy, right? It's like molasses taffy. I mean, you did not get to town. I'm serious. My dad would ride a snowmobile 7 miles in if he had to get groceries because they didn't plow the roads. Sucked. I mean, and you had 4 feet of snow on the road. What are you going to do? And it's not like flat. It's hilly. It's, big, steep hills. And
too steep to even go out and play, huh?
Oh, no. I remember,
no such thing.
There were times when one whole side of the house would be drifted covered with snow, and you could slide down the side of the house, and boom. The thing is, you didn't slide down the side of the house. You got to the edge of the roof, and you went boom. You just collapsed right to the ground. It's like pancaking in an airplane, baby. Damn. But, and then they had, what was the other? They had Cafe Buff, right? Wasn't that the other, That was one of their skits, but that was one of their food things related. And birthday.
My siblings and I called it barf.
Boeuf, cafe boeuf. That would be French for beef. Okay, one of the funniest food lines ever. Have you ever seen Better Off Dead with John Cusack? Okay, it's partially anime. He's a high school kid. He's thinking about telling his girlfriend it's better that they see each other because it's their senior year. Or no, but anyway, she dumps him. It doesn't matter. And this French girl moves in next door with this family that has a fat kid, and his parents are out of town. He lives. They're trying to ski the K2. So whatever state is that? Washington? I'm guessing Washington. Right?
K2?
Mm-hmm.
No, that's.
Well, it's a run. It's
McKinley's
a run.
the biggest mountain in U.S. K2, I think, is
it's actually
in the Himalayas.
It's actually in the Himalayas, but
yeah.
the run is called the K2. So I think it's in. I think it's in Washington State. But anyway, so there's this there's a couple things that are iconic in that movie. There's this kid that's the paper boy. I want my $2. The kid's. I mean, John Cusack's parents are gone for like a month. The kid, he owes the kid $2 for the week's worth of papers, and he doesn't have money. He's a high school kid. This kid on his bicycle is chasing him the whole thing, the whole thing. But there's a couple food things, right? So the French girl pretends she doesn't speak English because they're just annoying people that she lives with, right? And so there's the mother who's really, really sweet, you know, this Midwest kind of woman who's, and for dinner tonight, we're going to have French fries, and because she's trying to feed her French food, right, to the girl. And there's the chubby son who she overfeeds, right, who's just trying to grope the girl all the time. And then French fries and French bread, and then to drink, Peru, and it's Perrier, right? and I was like,
that's just wrong.
No, yeah. If you've never seen Better Off Dead, watch the movie. It's really funny. John Cusack's one of his early roles, but I just.
Oh yeah, I think I saw the end of it. It involved a skiing race, right?
Yes, and there's a kid on the bicycle, but he's actually got whatever skis on the bike, and he's chasing him down. He actually goes over a cliff, and he's laying in the snow at the end going, I want my $2. He's still screaming like he's dead, though. He's half dead in the snow.
And of course, there's some jackass rival, right?
Yeah. So, well, it's really funny because remember the. I don't know what his name is. He's an actor. He's kind of a B character player. He's always very morose. He kind of looks like Bert from Bert and Ernie. He's very like. I don't think is he the Bueller. I don't know if he's a Bueller teacher, but he's got a slightly receding hairline. He's very tall.
Ben Stein?
No, but he's taller and has a longer face than Ben Stein. Remember when Ben Stein's Money?
Oh yeah,
Ben Stein was brilliant.
Yeah,
still is. But anyway,
the categories too. They were really funny. Like I'm a little Pol Pot short and stout.
Okay, play on words, another thing I love. But all right, so we got to get to these really funny commercials because there are a bunch of stuff. So when I was a little kid, you had like the Chuck Wagon commercial, right? Okay, not human food, but dog food. And the Chuck Wagon commercial was that you had this dog that chased this little miniature Chuck Wagon. You're like, yeah, you know, these guys trying to get away from the dog, and they rode into the bag, and the dog had to stop at the pantry and couldn't get his food, right? But it was like a little miniature, well, Wild West Chuck Wagon riding, you know, the dog was chasing him all around the house. It was really funny. So there's that one. And then there's the old Shake and Bake commercial. It's one of the earliest commercials I remember. There are two other I remember just earlier than that, but there's a little girl and like she's trying to help her mom, right? And so they got the pork chops and she puts them in the bag and she shakes and I don't know what the dad says, something about, I forgot exactly how the commercial goes, but it's like, oh, what a wonderful dinner, honey, this looks great. And the little girl's like missing a tooth in front, that's what I remember. She's like a little freckled redheaded girl and she goes, and I helped. And all I could remember is, and I helped. I couldn't remember what commercial that was from for years and years because she shook it in the bag. You know, it was Shake and Bake. So, but do you know the very first pizza commercial for Pizza Hut? So there's like this pedal car. It looks like what'd you call it? A Shriner's car, right?
Yeah.
All right. So the very first commercial for Pizza Hut aired in 1965. I was probably a twinkle in my father's eye, but a couple years early at that time. I was born in 67, but basically it's this little pedal car. I don't even know if it's a pedal car. It might be a real engine car. But he's driving through this neighborhood in his tiny car. It's a 1965 Mustang GR. He's being chased through town to the Pizza Hut and back to his house while his pie is greedily being gobbled up before he can even grab a slice. It introduced the nation to the chain, which remains, of course, one of the biggest chains in the nation still. And then, Subway. Can we talk about Jared anymore?
Why not? What's
you don't know what happened with Jared? Remember Jared? Jared was like 350 pounds or whatever, right? And then he ate just Subway, right? He ate lean Subways, though. Lots of veggies, no oil, no vinegar. I think he had mustard. But he lost all that weight and he became like the iconic spokesperson for them.
Right, yeah.
And then he got busted for like, like it's kind of like the Me Too movement, but with underage people.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly. I never wanted to know the story because I'll be honest with you. If I watched the news every day, I'd be so depressed I couldn't freaking eat. And I like to eat. Okay, so
just about anyone in the right mind does.
Yeah, but but remember he stood in front of Subway that very first time. That was like in 2000. He was 245 pounds, and he stood in front of Subway. And it said 7 subs with 6 grams of fat or less was the poster on the window, and he basically he lost a lot of weight. He lost like 60 pounds. Or remember how big his pants were when he held them up? The guy must have weighed like $110 by the time he was done.
Wow!
Because they were like 5 times bigger than him. Okay, what's really funny? All right, sorry, I can't talk right now. This is from February of 2013, right? Because there haven't been any really cool fast food commercials since then. So it says, Fogel still shows up in Subway commercials regularly, but the most enduring is still the one that started it all. No, he doesn't show up in any commercials anymore, anywhere. He's still in jail. And then the Colonel Sanders ones.
The
original ones. The original ones, right? So,
I mean, what have we got today?
Well, you know what's really funny is if you go on Twitter, their whole account only follows 7 herbs and spices, like like the Spice Girls, but they only follow 7 people,
right,
on their whole Twitter, on their whole account.
I see.
It's because it's the 7 herbs and spices or whatever it is, or whatever. I don't know how many it is, but and finger looking good. It's finger looking good.
Oh yeah, there's that too.
I have to say that Norm Macdonald did a good job of playing Colonel Sanders. When they did the whole spoof the last couple of years. You don't like Norm Macdonald?
I'm just, I don't think I've seen him, but I can imagine him doing that. Yes.
Yeah, he was all right. So then
loved him on Dirty Work.
That was
Dirty Jobs.
Yeah. Dirty Jobs. Yeah. That was right. That was a funny movie. Oh, yeah. He was really he was good on SNL when he did the news and stuff.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, SNL, look, there's some great shows and some terrible shows I can't hardly watch anymore. But, back, okay, so McDonald's ruled the world, right? We were a fast food nation already in 1974 until the Motown jingle came out for Have It Your Way, Have It Your Way, Have It Your Way at Burger King. And then Burger King still stayed number 2 on the block, and they still aren't even number 2 anymore. Chick-fil-A.
Oh yeah,
is I think as of this year, gross annual sales number 2.
Yeah, it passed Starbucks.
Oh, dude, Starbucks.
I think that's on the back of anybody can use the bathroom for any reason and not pay.
Okay, so this is the second sad story of my life. Mr. K told me to buy into the NYSE, but when I was going to culinary school in Denver in the mid-90s, early 90s, mid-90s, I had a chance to buy into Starbucks because a really good friend of mine, 2 of them actually in my class, Tawny Shields and, Gregory, Jeff Riggs. Jeff Riggs both worked there. And you know what? They were like, dude, you should invest in this company because it was new, man. It was like Starbucks had just barely expanded out of Seattle. Mm-hmm. They were just opening their first stores in each state. And I was once again a dumbass. And I once again didn't take a blind penny and invest. And another, that was the first time I really got a hot tip. And they didn't know it was a hot tip. They just said, Look, hey, man, this is a really cool company. If you have any money, you should invest. I'm investing. I'm sure Jeff Riggs did. He was a smart guy. I didn't say that aloud, did I? Hold the pickles, hold the lettuce, remember that?
Vaguely.
Yeah, you were, well, all right, so Summy and I are about 11, 12 years apart. So
right.
You would have been not born in 1974.
No.
That's probably why you don't remember. All right, Popeyes. You know what, though? KFC had the Colonel, right?
Yeah.
And Popeyes had the Louisiana cred, but I'll be honest with you, there was no Popeyes when I was a little kid in the North that I remember. And so I don't ever remember Popeyes jingles. I don't remember any commercials from Popeyes until like the last 10 years. Is that sad to say? I don't think I ever paid attention. They have better chicken. Oh my God.
God!
Oh, wait.
No.
So before we go on to that dumbass right there, okay, this is probably one of the worst commercial ploys ever. I have to tell you two things. Two things. Number one of the guys I work with in California, a brilliant former Disney Imagineer. You know how Disney found him and brought him in?
What was his name?
First name begins with an F. I've mentioned their name, Mr. and Mrs. F in California.
The only
F
name
isn't a
I
good
know,
word.
The only name I know is Marty Sklar.
No. It's a Philly family, right? But, remember the California Raisinets?
Oh, yeah.
That was him.
Huh.
That whole that whole animated, that's how he got found. I mean,
Wow.
other than the fact that his brilliant wife, Cammie, was the only woman to ever graduate #1 in their class at City Art College of L.A.
Wow.
And they went there together, and they're just badasses, totally.
Wow.
They're the ones that are helping me. Like, oh, by the way, remind me when I get off the air. I need to say thank you once again to Kong Shang Cutlery, because I have about 400 pictures of your beautiful knives I need to post, and most of them are thank you to Andrea and Cammie Favilli in their kitchen while I was out there. You gratefully overnighted me an entire box of knives, 9 knives, dude. That's like almost $2,000 retail. It's like $1,500. Gotta be. Okay. Yes. Shall we get to it?
About
three
minutes. So
3.5. No. At two.
Okay.
One and a half. All right. So stupidest commercials ever. Avoid the Noid Domino's.
Okay.
Avoid the first Noid commercial was in 1986. It should have never been. Never, ever. What in the hell were they thinking?
Let's not be reminded.
Okay. Taco Bell.
Oh God, no.
No, you kidding? The Chihuahua? Yo quiero Taco Bell.
Got old.
So did the wasabi. But you know what? It was still funny.
That
Kinda.
too got old.
Yes, it did. Wasabi. Come on, it was funny for me because I was making Japanese food at the time. But come on, the Yo quiero Taco Bell for like the first 3 months was really funny.
Yeah, it wore out its welcome.
Yeah, and he's got that little snaggle tooth. He's that really cute little Chihuahua, right? He's always got his lips like. Hey, that was pretty good, huh? I'm not as cute as a Chihuahua though. Okay, real quick. Oh my God. Okay, one of the earliest commercials I remember. You remember this one? Do you remember the guy wakes up in the morning? It's like 4 a.m. It's dark outside. It's like it ran from 1982 to 1997 for Dunkin' Donuts. It's time to make the donuts. And he'd get up and he'd like wander out of the house. And it's like day after day, night after night, morning after morning. It's time to make the donuts. So there was that one. And then the Pepto-Bismol commercial, which usually followed that one. But it was like plop, flop. The Pepto-Bismol one was, I can't believe I ate the whole thing. And his belly would go, whoa, and then he'd drink Pepto-Bismol and he'd feel better. But the Alka-Seltzer was a plop, plop, fizz, fizz. All right, try to stump me.
All
right, come on.
Okay.
No way. I got it. I'm batting 500 right now. First one you choose.
Okay. Marchands Divin.
Divin?
Yeah.
Okay. So Marchand Divin. Divin is a wine. All right. Marchand, it's going to be VIN for Vin. Right? Divin?
Yeah.
DE''VIN?
Yes.
Okay. Spell the first word real quick.
Well, no apostrophe.
Okay. Spell the first word for me.
Marchands.
MARCHANDS. Marchons? Like Marchons?
Yes.
Okay. God, some. Wait.
It does have to do with wine.
It does, right? So I'm going to guess that it's the Marchand de Vin. It's the waste from wine. The leftover stuff you pull out during the fermenting process so you don't get too many tannins in it.
A French sauce, the name of which means wine merchants.
You know what? I'm muting your mic. I call BS. No, I'm just joking. Yeah. Well, all right. I'm batting .333 now. Huh. Yeah, well, hey, dessert's coming up. We're going to watch, Summy stuff his face full of really good chocolate peanut butter ice cream. Come back. Listener starve.
Follow Chef Patrick Mosher on Twitter at Food Biz Pro.
Dr. Ken Brown here, host of Gut Check Project with my co-host Eric Rieger. Eric, we've been seeing Mojo guys over there and over here at Spoony talk about Atrantil for bloating. I've seen in my practice that Atrantil is a whole lot more than just a bloating product.
Yes, it does a whole lot more than just fix bloating because of the polyphenols that you find in Atrantil.
You're exactly right. The polyphenols are those molecules that we find in the Mediterranean diet. It makes vegetables and fruits very colorful. What are some of the things that these polyphenols do, Eric?
These polyphenols can actually stop inflammation. They can help you have more energy. They can help you with anti-aging. And polyphenols are great for athletes.
It sounds like it's going to help a whole lot more people than just bloating. Tell me how everybody should be taking Atrantil.
If you want to dose Atrantil, it's 2 capsules 3 times a day, basically with your meals. But if you aren't bloated and you just want that polyphenol intake every day, 2 to 3 capsules a day will work for you.
Go to lovemytummy.com/Spoony.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-452-1075. 800-452-1075. That's 800-452-1075.
And we have a winner! Mr. Summy Schick, by pure choice. There is no happenstance. There is no other reason that I wanted somebody to win because he's been my biggest fan since he's just been a huge supporter. He comes in all the time. He comes in at least once a week. Rigged. Yeah. It may have been rigged, but it was rigged by the guy who decided what the rules were. There weren't any rules, so I just decided you win. But actually, I didn't have to mail it this way because shipping ice cream, you can ship ice cream, but when you ship it on dry ice, it changes the texture, right? I'm not going to send anybody a blank check, nor am I going to send you just even some cash out of my pocket. I'd rather watch you enjoy it in front of me. So, Summy, where'd we go today?
We went to Cold Stone Creamery.
Cold Stone Creamery. It's the newest thing in India. Cold Stone Creamery. It's the biggest import from India to India. Man, I suck at doing Indian accents. Cold Stone Creamery. I love Cold Stone Creamery. And Nick was the guy today who served us, right?
Uh-huh.
Nick is a badass. Threw some stuff in the air. Look, he actually added what did I ask for? Rocky Road with chocolate chips.
Yeah.
Best damn Rocky Road ever.
Ooh.
It was really good. Sweet cream ice cream. Ooh, you can't go wrong. Now, vanilla is my all-time favorite, but sweet cream is second.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right, you got to at least take one bite on the air. It's got to be big enough to give you brain freeze because it's not funny if you don't get brain freeze.
Okay.
No,
I'll try.
No. You don't have to get brain freeze. Come on, man. You know they don't know what causes that exactly. They don't know if it's the nerves on the top of your mouth. Yeah. Come on, man. Yeah, don't get brain freeze. because I need you to talk. I need you to fill in for me here in a few minutes. No, but you said that your favorite didn't matter what brand it was, as long as it was quality. You liked it was a flavor over a brand, and so there was something endearing about that because although we all have these iconic brands we either grew up with or we learned to love, or we just we think we can't live without. Again, really, for me, as much as I love Tillamook or Stewart's, growing up in New York State, Stewart's ice cream shops were everywhere. And Dino Mulligan, does your family still? Oh, I don't know if if Dino Mulligan is still, or Mulligan, your dad was I don't know. Your dad was a mill president. That's all I know. And y'all had, they owned the Stewart's downtown. So if your family still owns the Stewart's, call me, because you know what? I need a hookup. Send me some ice cream. Send me some sodas. I don't care. Send me something, man. I don't get enough free product here, except for Kongsheng knives, cutlery, because they're awesome. Awesome knives. And did you see? So today did you see that jerky I had out there?
Yeah.
It was pepperoni flavored jerky or something like that. Did you see? It's really nice because it's actually cased, but it's made like jerky. And you notice it was I had the only thing I had was the boning knife. It's the one to cut it's a very thin knife to cut the tissue away from the bone.
Kind of like a filleting knife.
Yeah, very much like a fillet knife, but not quite as flexible as a fillet knife, right? A little stiffer. But yes, very much. Same shape. And see me slice right through that package.
Yeah.
Damn, they have nice knives. Really nice ones. And the new Thomas Keller line is out, and I believe is exclusively available at Williams-Sonoma. I believe it's public knowledge now, so I can probably say it. I hope so, because otherwise I've just let that cat out of the bag, and they're not going to send me more beautiful knives or knife rails. And look, I've been looking for a place to put the knives up here in the Spoony studio. They just don't seem to fit anywhere. So, how about right here?
Yeah. Maybe rework the wall there.
Yeah, maybe when the guests get out of hand, I'll just have them handy. Yeah. Next time I say I got chops and somebody says, I'm creative. We'll see if you don't come back missing a finger next time. At least a little. Nah, man, come on. Look, I can barely cut my own fingers.
What, you're running a Yakuza ring here?
No, but I have exported a couple of tattoo machines for them back in the 90s. Did I say that out loud? All right, so time to make the donuts. Let's see. Number 2, McDonald's. Actually, the Whopper commercial. Remember that one? Do you remember that song? I know everybody my age or older knows it. Probably even younger by 5 or 6 years.
Song. You said Whopper.
I'm sorry. Sorry. You know why? Because I was just
special sauce,
lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
Yeah.
And you got one free if you walked in and said that. And that was 1971 or 2 or 3.
They don't do it now anymore.
No, but in 1975 when it started out, you could walk in and say, 2 all-beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. And if you said it fast enough, you had like 5 seconds. It takes or 10 seconds. It took 3 seconds to say it. You got a free one once. Because, there weren't 16 McDonald's in your town.
What I said, that's as far as I could ever get.
2 all-beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. Yep. And then it was all downhill from there.
Yeah.
So I told you, my friend Stephen Hollingshead, Dr. Stephen Hollingshead, by the way, PhD in religious philosophy at 26 years old from Marquette University, one of the most brilliant men I've ever met. He's revamping the entire world's financial, institutional transaction way of doing transactions internationally, even without ID. Very cool stuff. Biometrics, palm reading. He's found a way to find real, catch people laundering money all around the world. Like, it's amazing. Wow. Brilliant mind. He was actually the CFO for Americans for Prosperity at one time. Smart guy. Anyway, younger than I am, my former employer, my first employer in Texas, we started a company. Well, he started a company. I worked with him. It was called BringDinnerHome.com. It was really the first home meal replacement company, like Blue Apron or, I don't know, Box Meal to Go, whatever the hell they're called. I don't pay attention because none of them make any money. What do I care? Because the packaging and the labor is really expensive. But we had a model where we were making money, and we didn't think about one thing. It was a very, very, and we've talked about this before about business decisions. The reason he started this company was because he had a family of many children, and he has many more now. I think he has 11 children. Anyway, he wanted to undo what McDonald's had done, and not because he didn't dislike McDonald's. But really, if you had a large family, the only inexpensive way to eat was to go with fast food.
Right.
Because there was no economy of scale when you bought healthy food. So we started this company called BringDinnerHome.com, and it was basically to undo what McDonald's did, which was turn dining into feeding. And it wasn't that wasn't what Ray Kroc's vision was. And McDonald's is not evil. We're not blaming it. He wasn't blaming anyone. I'm not blaming anyone now. But he was not blaming anyone or vilifying anyone. He was just trying to bring people back to the dinner table at a cost that they could afford. So the way that the business worked was we made money off the delivery fee. And say you ordered 2 dinners, that might cost you $11 or $12 a piece, but as you ordered more, each portion got less expensive. So the larger the family you had, the less the portion cost was per portion, because we didn't make the money off of a profit from the food, just barely. I mean, there was like a 15% built in there, but it was the delivery fee was where we made the money. And so, brilliant idea.
As scale as can be.
Yeah, except for one thing. Everybody had dial-up back then, and we had like 50 photos per page. And although you could order up until 11 o'clock at night, and we started production at midnight, most people would wait until after dinner, after they finished their work or family time, and they wouldn't. This was in the this was 2001-ish, 2000, 2001, 2, somewhere there. Yeah. So most people would wait till they finished all that stuff at night. They wouldn't start ordering till 10 o'clock at night. Well, it took like 10 minutes per page to load, and you had to order one thing from this page, one from that. We didn't think about either downgrading the quality of the photos or, just basically not having as many pictures, or having a collection of pictures with the recipes for you to look at as a library, instead of having every page have all these photos. So it took forever to order, right? That was actually, it was funny because it was a technology thing. Almost, we're ahead of the time.
Yeah. And today, the idea itself is too yesterday to fly now.
Well, yes and no, but as far as that, no, he's back in the D.C. area. He does a lot of work in Iraq. He works with displaced, Iraqis and Kurds, and so especially those that have no. He works in all sorts of financially impoverished areas, economic development zones around the world. Anyway, his name is Dr. Stephen Hollingshead, Hollingshead, Hollingshead. Brilliant man. All right, learn it, live it, love it. What's that from?
I've heard a number of different.
Or is it live it, love it, learn, love it, learn it, love it?
I once heard it on Total Drama Island.
No, I think it's from. Isn't that from Fast Times at Ridgemont High? Right.
I haven't seen.
No shirt, no shoes, no service. Learn it, love it, live it, or whatever. I don't remember what it was, but that's when the Jeff Spicoli, right? They walk up. Sean Penn walks up. Says no shirt, no shoes, no service. So they take their shirts and their Vans off and they walk in. But they had them on until they got to the door. Anyway, so back to Stephen. Yeah, we were unfortunately great concept. We thought about doing that because he lives outside of D.C. and Virginia. His family does, and when he's home, that's where he lives. His family's in his parents are in Houston. Thought about doing it there because one of the issues with DC is traffic. It's very difficult in the inside the corridor there to get around. And so if you have one truck only making deliveries all day, and you didn't have to be, the brilliant thing, you didn't have to be home to get your food. You didn't have to, and we didn't leave a box on your doorstep, right? We rented you a little dorm-sized refrigerator for $7 a month with a locking mechanism on it, and we put it inside your garage, which we put an E-key. We had a clicker basically which matched your crystal. That's the frequency, and so we could put it in there in your backyard or whatever. We could put it anywhere you wanted and to lock it, and you didn't have to worry. Your food was cold. It didn't sit in a box. Nobody could steal it. and it was fresh. I mean, it was because it was like I hand trimmed chicken breasts overnight for 50 or 60 or 70 people. Hand trimmed, cryovac it, vacuum sealed it, everything. Everything done by hand, made that day. It was awesome. But alas, let's go back to commercials, dude. I'm sad. That was $1 billion idea, at least $1 million idea. But, maybe it wouldn't have held up because nobody now makes any money doing it. And
oh, yeah. I know the thing with that.
All right, so back to the number one. Back to the number one iconic. All right, and I think this is probably true.
I don't have to see the words to know what that's all about.
Yeah, so this is the Wendy's commercial, right? This was about 1980, mid-80s?
Oh, yeah.
84? Oh, yes. So it first aired on 1984, and the actress was Clara Peller, right?
Huh.
She was about 85 at the time. And and what did she say when they opened the hamburger?
Where's the beef?
Where's the beef? Where's the beef? Where's the beef? Oh, my God, that was hilarious. That thing played out for how long? And people still say it. Where's the beef?
And probably don't even know where it's from.
Most of us do. My kids don't say, where's the beef? They're 21. Well, I don't think they do anyway. I haven't ever heard them say that. But where's the beef? Dude, that lady was hilarious.
I got a little factoid from that quote from that lady.
Mm-hmm.
The movie would have been the first instance of viral marketing, except something crazy happened on television. But it was a horror movie called The Stuff.
Really?
Yeah, and they had her in a restaurant saying, "Where's the stuff?" The stuff, it's kind of like the Blob, only...
I remember the Blob.
Yeah, only this is something people eat. Nobody knows where it's from, but everybody loves it. The only thing is, it's living and it eats people from the inside out.
Oh, that's gross.
Yeah, and the hero is kind of a corporate saboteur that some dessert company sends in to destroy it, and
Okay, so all I can think of in my mind right now, I'm thinking of the old lady with Where's the Beef, and I'm thinking of the old lady in The Wedding Singer rapping. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember what she was singing?
Not really, no. Some hip-hop something or other.
All right. Isn't Rapper's Delight, right?
In my mind right now, I'm thinking of the old lady with Where's the Beef, and I'm thinking of the old lady in The Wedding Singer rapping. Do you remember that?
Okay, so here's the problem. It's playing on YouTube, our show, live, and then I was trying to play that as well. So, whatever, man. Oh, my gosh. Is that Jim Morrison on Good Morning America?
Oh.
Who's that? Oh, no, that's John Travolta. Are you kidding me? The cast of Welcome Back. Okay. Welcome Back, Kotter. Are you old enough to remember that show?
No.
Gabe Kaplan, John Travolta.
I know that name.
I don't remember any. There's a guy who played Arnold Horshack. He was that's that skinny guy over here, right?
Is that Michael Winslow?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yep. So, yeah, not a food commercial, but really funny. And that was really funny. Did you see John Travolta dancing there?
Wow.
On Good Morning America? All right, folks, if you haven't seen it, you need to go to the cast of Welcome Back Kotter's reunion.
Kotter with a K.
Yes. That was an iconic song, too. Welcome back. Dun, 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 dun. You got to watch the show. Go back, find it. It's got to be, oh my gosh. This was pre Saturday Night Fever. This was pre all his other dance stuff. And he's wearing this, folks, he's dressed head to toe in a gold, what would you call that, jumpsuit with pirate sleeves. Yeah. Look, John Travolta, you've come a long way and you slid way back down a few times, but that was it was the 70s. What are you going to say?
Yeah.
Welcome back, Cotter. All right. So the oh, do you remember Brad Pitt in the Pringles commercial?
I remember Brad Pitt from Legends of the Fall. That's as far back as I can remember.
So one of his first jobs when he got to L.A., right? He was they had I don't know if it was El Pollo Loco or El Pollo Asado. El Pollo Asado was my favorite. They don't have it around anymore, but that was the name of a chain that's like El Pollo Loco, right? Is basically that asado style chicken, adobo chicken. And so, but he was the guy dressed in the chicken suit on the street. That was one of his first jobs. There are actually some pictures of him in that with his head up, with the hat, the headpiece off, and yeah, I didn't know he was in a Pringles commercial. Sarah Michelle Gellar in a Burger King commercial in 1981. She's like 5. Wow. Jason Alexander was in the McDLT commercial in the 1980s. No. Oh, are you kidding me? McDLT. That was the one with the two, wasn't that? Didn't have the two. It was the double box that had the cold and the hot stuff. So it had like the top bun on one side with the lettuce and the tomato. And then on the other side, it had the bottom bun with the burger. And you had, so nothing like your lettuce and tomato get hot. The stupidest thing ever. Okay, not the stupidest thing. Matt LeBlanc in the Heinz ketchup. Oh my gosh. Burger King. Ben Affleck in a Burger King commercial?
Wow.
What?
Hey, what about those? That Heinz ketchup reminds me of some of the A1 commercials.
A1.
A1. There are some that are closer to date where the person at the restaurant has to get the last bit out. So everyone around him jumps on the floor so that he can get the leverage to get that last bit out.
So all I remember when I was a kid, they had there was that ketchup poured out really slow, right? And so they had this. They sang the songs from the lyrics from the song Anticipation. So you're waiting for the ketchup to pour out. It goes, anticipation, it's making, or you're making me wait. And that's a real song from the 70s, right? So you're waiting the whole commercial for like one drop, like one glob of ketchup to come out. It's like the whole thing is about waiting for the Heinz ketchup to come out of the bottle, right?
Instead of taking a butter knife and just sticking it in there.
Oh, dude, that's just wrong. No. You gotta wait. Be patient. It's food, right? Let's turn feeding back into dining. Right? We're not in that big a rush that we gotta. Okay, sometimes we're in that big a rush. We gotta. Yes. Nowadays, you don't have to do that. It's a squirt bottle.
Yeah.
Think about that. Think about the innovation in packaging over the years. No more glass bottles. It's all plastic. I don't know if that's better or worse because most plastic doesn't get recycled. All that stuff gets shipped off to China. China won't even take our plastic barges full of plastic. Did you know that? So we're basically paying China. So I'm not a huge greenie, so to speak, but I do. I really am I do become concerned about the environment. Sure. You know, people are like, oh, the big raft in the middle of the ocean. It's bullshit. It's true. Fly over the freaking Pacific. It's true. It's about 200 miles by 40 miles. It's big. It's not fake. It's there. I've seen pictures. I've seen it. I've seen people fly over it. It's real. Okay? And there's a lot of crap that we can't take out of the water. And plastic is not very biodegradable. But anyway, so there are so many things that we were doing to try and get rid of this plastic waste, right? And basically, so for the last 20 years or 15 years, we've been paying China to take entire, ocean-going cargo ships full of this waste. We've shipped so much there they won't even take it anymore. Right. They don't know what to do with it. We've tried sinking it in the ocean. We've tried burying it. We've tried to work on these enzymes that digest plastic. Well, the thing is, then you get toxic air. You gotta have scrubbers for all that stuff, right? Am I a no straw guy? No. But I mean, glass straws, plastic straws, or like the hard plastic or the metal straws are a good option. And if you're dining out, it's not feasible. But when I was in Austin, we did see these straws. Remember the hay straws? They're on my desk out there. Yeah. The ones that are actually made from straw. Yeah. I saw those. We saw this, and matter of fact, they were serving them in drinks. It was very cool. It's the first time I've ever seen it in a restaurant. I thought it was pretty cool. But, man, plastics. We use so much freaking plastic in this country. It's ridiculous. And burning it puts, it's, when plastic burns, rubber burns, because it's petroleum, it burns that black smoke. I don't know what it does, but I'm sure it's not good for you. It's got to be a little carcinogenic. Way back in the night, I'm going to close that. I do want to talk about the roasted bananas here in a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Because, wait. Real quick. You want to throw that in the freezer so it doesn't get too soft?
Yeah.
Okay. Throw that in the freezer. I'm going to hold on to this idea for a second. I'm going to talk about the roasted bananas. All right. We can talk about it again when you come back.
Right.
All right. So, everybody has bananas that are on the counter. They get too dark, too spotted. You don't know what to do with them. Well, a brilliant chef named Roy Yamaguchi. His parents were from Japan. He grew up in Maui. Brilliant man. He opened up Roy's in, I think, Oahu was probably his first restaurant. Then he had Roy's Kahana Bar and Grill in Lahaina on Maui, and then he expanded from there. Eventually had restaurants. I think there are still Roy's. There are one or two in Texas. I know there used to be one in, was it Dallas, Austin, San Antonio? There's one in Phoenix. They had about 15, 18 restaurants. I know there was one in between. It was in La Jolla, actually, because David Abella, his corporate sous chef, corporate executive chef, asked me to work there to be their executive sous chef. Anyway, but brilliant. Look, everybody's got these extra bananas that get brown. What do you do with them? Well, you make dessert. There's a couple things you can do. Take them out of the skin. Put them. Don't mash them up. Just put them in a Ziploc baggie and throw them in your freezer. All right. So when it comes time to make banana bread, you pull that out. It's usually 2 bananas, make a little over a cup. I just put extra bananas. You need a cup of mashed bananas, ripe bananas, to make banana bread, and that's what you use. Now, Roy Yamaguchi does something special with them, though. And Roy basically takes overripe bananas, or when they just start to get spotted like that, and you roast them in the skin in the oven at about 400 degrees. And you roast them till they're completely black on a sheet pan. And what happens is that clear juice starts to seep out and the skin starts to split and it's all complete. The skin is completely black, not the banana, but the skin turns black and it starts to shrink just a little bit. And it's soft. When you touch it, it's like Jell-O inside, right? It's like liquid.
There's no peeling it anymore. Huh?
No. What you do is you let it cool a little bit, right? And very carefully cut a slit in the side of it and put the whole thing in the blender. Use gloves if you need to. You can double and triple them up, right? And then squeeze a little bit. Make sure you get as much of the juice in there as possible. So you put a couple of those in there and you puree it up. You don't have to add anything else. Roasted banana is one of the purest, richest, sweetest, amazing flavors you can have.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy because when you eat a banana that's yellow, there's very little banana flavor in it. It's creamy, but that banana flavor is not fully developed. It's when they're fully ripe and they start to turn spotted, not black. But anyway, so you roast them till they're black. You take them out of the skin, out of the peel. You put them in the blender and puree them up. And then you put them in a ramekin. I typically put them in a ramekin. I'll spray it with a little oil, or you can put plastic in it, like plastic wrap. Sorry, did I say plastic? Yes, plastic wrap. Put plastic wrap in there. And just fill it up, put it in the fridge till it cools down. And I like to not get it too cold because it gets kind of solid, right? It's kind of gelatinous. So when and then you just you put it on a plate, and then you can make like a caramel sauce. And the caramel's super easy. Basically,
you're melting sugar.
Well, yeah, but what I do is I toast macadamia nuts, same way that Roy does. Toast macadamia nuts, and then you put sugar. And as they don't get them too burned, you don't want them charred. I know we're running short on time, but we got 2.5 minutes left, folks. I'm going to finish this recipe. So you basically caramelize those a little bit, and then you start to make, or you can roast them in the oven, add them in after. It's just sugar, and I always put a little bit of water in it because it helps to keep you from burning the sugar so much. Yep, I know. At 1.5 minutes. All right, we got 30 seconds left. But then what happens as you make this caramel, when the caramel's just about done, caramel, by the way, is not a word, it's caramel. When it's almost done, you pull it off the heat and you add cream to it because it makes it more like caramel candies. All right.
Yeah, and then, caramel is a word. It's a mountain that Elijah was on.
Well, and there's also caramel California. Okay, so real quick, then you just you throw the macadamia nuts in there, and you drizzle that around that banana pudding, basically, and then you make some whipped cream and a little dollop on top, or chantilly cream, which is a little sweet with a little sugar and a little bit of vanilla in there. All right. That's my recipe for the day. I will give you a link, actually, to Roy Yamaguchi's famous, I think he called it banana. It was banana souffle or banana. It's damn tasty roasted banana is what it is. And I'm sorry I didn't get back to comments. All right, minute and 15. Go, Summy. Pick it and point. No choosing.
Bisque.
That's it's typically a seafood-based soup. It is made thickened with a roux. It is made with the shells and other body parts of it's made from the shells of a seafood.
A little more detailed than it says.
It's typically thickened with cream and served with sherry.
Thick, rich soup, usually consisting of pureed seafood, sometimes fowl or vegetables, and cream.
Yeah, you can have tomato bisque and things like that.
Yeah.
Potage, corn potage, which is that's like a bisque French-based potage soup. It's a creamy soup. It's kind of like a thinner version of creamed corn. The Japanese love it. I don't get it, but they have this fascination with corn potage soup. Mm-hmm. All right, Summy, do it as always. Thanks for coming by.
You betcha.
She's like, dude, I've been here since like 9:15 this morning. Can I just get the hell out of here? Go eat my ice cream. Yes, you can. Hey, folks, Chef Patrick Mosher, the Food Biz Pro. I'll be back next Tuesday around Brandon's show. We're going to put him on rerun yesterday's show for an hour, put him on live. I'll do mine on Wednesday. Thanks for listening. We appreciate you. Big news coming sooner or later. Hey, don't forget, you are what you eat. Be careful. Don't drink and drive. And listen or starve. Ciao for now.
This is the only 24-hour Take Anywhere platform dedicated to food and fun. We're Spoony.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. President Trump is speaking this hour at the American Veterans 75th National Convention in Louisville, Kentucky.